While most of War Thunder's problems can be blamed on Gaijin, there's something players sometimes forget, and that is that the community often perpetuates them. As for how much blame the community deserves, it depends on the issue, but in the case of Smurfing, the majority of it belongs to them. If you don't know what Smurfing is, here's a relatively quick breakdown. When a highly skilled player actively seeks out matches with newer unskilled players, that's Smurfing. The experienced player obviously dominates the match, making it unfun for everyone else. It's called Smurfing because in the games where this started cropping up, like World of Warcraft, you had to make a new account for it to work. These new accounts would often be given really lazy names, usually referring to the Smurfs cartoon. Now it's a universal term for veteran players clubbing new ones. Most games require that you make a new account if you want to Smurf, because they have various matchmaking systems in place that keep things even. Whether it's a skill-based matchmaker or a system that works based on rank, by forcing the player to make a new account, it makes it at least somewhat inconvenient. Given how its progression system works, War Thunder's situation is far different. Player rank is essentially meaningless in War Thunder, only granting you bonuses as you level. There's also no skill-based matchmaking system. It only matches you with people in the same BR bracket. Instead of earning a rank or rating that lets you play more difficult opponents as you play longer, you unlock new vehicles that become more and more capable. The higher you climb the tech tree, the more skilled players you face. Unlike the other games though, there is nothing stopping you from going back and playing low tier tanks, and let me make this clear, there shouldn't be. If someone wants to go back and play T-34 after unlocking their T-90, they should be able to. Another problem is that in order to research low tier tanks at max efficiency, you have to play other low tier tanks, so you're kinda forced to Smurf. Starting a new tech tree is the same thing. That is what makes this so tricky. It is borderline impossible to tell who wants to grind, mess around in low tiers, or seal club new players. The biggest issue with Smurfing in War Thunder is that it actively drives people away from the game. I've said this before, but I've tried to introduce around 5 or 6 of my friends to the game. Every single time I tried, a squad of level 100s with full lineups would stomp all over them. They usually had all the obscure premiums, had everything spaded, and knew exactly the right spots to play on every single map. My friends barely knew how to control their own tank. It's no wonder they got slaughtered. This kind of thing happens on a large scale. Funnily enough, if these new players kept playing, they would have made higher tiers more bearable to play once they reached them, but now they'll likely never launch the game again. So if you club low tiers to escape people who sweat at top tier, you are only making it worse. Smurfing gets even worse during events. Players want to get the task done as fast as possible, so they go to club in low tiers. Thankfully, Gaijin made a tier 3 limit for events, so you can't go too low. So, what can be done to solve Smurfing in War Thunder? There's one suggestion I made last year, and that would be to ease players into PvP. For your first battle, you should play exclusively against bots. This is already modeled in War Thunder. After that first match, battles would be half bots and half players from level 1 to level 5. After the player reaches level 6, it'd be 25 to 75 bots versus players, with the players being level 6 to level 10. After reaching level 10, there shouldn't be any bots at all. Keeping players interested in the game is vital for retention, so the mix of new players and bots would be ideal in my eyes. Bots can be boring to fight, but there might not always be enough new players to fill out matches quickly. I don't think players would create new accounts to Smurf, since you would have to regrind tanks you want to play. Unless your favorite tank is already a reserve, it seems like way too much of a hassle. I don't think skill-based matchmaking would be a great idea, since it can be pretty annoying. It seems like you stomp one match and then get stomped the next, with the cycle repeating itself. Some games have great systems though, so I guess it depends on how Gaijin models it. In the meantime, if you're a veteran player that wants to play low tiers, I would recommend only bringing your favorite tank, not a whole lineup. You'll probably do better with one tank than most players will with 5, so that should level the playing field a bit. Anyway, that's pretty much all there is to it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.